Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. This video, I'm so excited. I've got my little book here and it's basically, I'm going to be going through a bucket list of 20 things I want to do before I turn 20. If I don't manage to do them all, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad if I don't do them all. But it's just like it would be nice if I could do them all. My birthday is the 16th of June, so I turned 19 on the 16th of June 2022. And I want to do these, or as much of them as I can, before I turn 20 on the 16th of June 2023. Okay? So, these aren't like in any order. I'm not going to like order them. They'll just get done when they get done. But yeah, just going to start reading them. First one, start learning to drive. I feel like if you can drive, it's just easier to like get around. You can get to cooler places if you drive, I think, and you can kind of work more on like a plan, like a time, whereas like if you're gonna get a buses, especially where I live, I don't know if it's UK wide, but buses are rubbish. I also don't like buses. I used to get the bus to school, and then in year 11, like the last year, I just stopped getting the bus. I'd walk 1 mile and then I'd like sprint the next mile because I live quite far away from the secondary school I went to. But I didn't like getting the bus and I would always nearly be late, and I'd run a mile in like around 5 to 7 minutes. I don't like buses. I would get run over by prams, there'd be annoying children on them. Just generally not a nice experience. Yeah, I think if you drive you can get better places. You've not got the inconvenience of like stopping loads to let people get on. It makes your journey shorter. Downside, it's expensive because petrol is expensive, but I think you can plan when to fill up with petrol. Obviously you have to do it when your thing's running out, but you can plan, I think, to make it a bit more cost effective. And also I think like just like running certain things on your car make your petrol consumption worse. I don't know if I'd get an electric car because the idea of just running out of electricity just in the middle of the nowhere is really scary to me, and I feel like it's easier to run out of electricity than petrol because there's less electric charging points around, do you know what I mean? You need to up the amount of them. Next one is to start like a group. I just think it would be fun to have a group where like everyone's interested in the same things, you can all talk about it, or like you can all go and do stuff together as like a group. And I don't know, I just think it'd be fun. There's not really much else to that one, it's just I want to like have a group. Travel alone somewhere. I've already planned this one, so it'll be a video in September where I've always like gone places with like my mum or my dad. The furthest I've actually gone by myself as of today is work experience in town, and that was when I was 15. I'm 19. Since then the furthest I've gone by myself is walking to college, which is like 3 roads away from me. Wait, hold on. 4 roads away from me. And I just walked to college and then walked back home. I don't even know. I'm just not like other kids, you know, like growing up kids would be like, oh, I'm going out with my friends. Like, I never did that. I think mainly I didn't live close to many of my friends because, like I said, I live quite far away from my school, whereas most people that go to a school live near the school. But I didn't want to go to the schools that were near me. So, yeah. There was less people, like, around me. There's some kids on my road, but, like, I'm not interested. I used to, like, sometimes in summer with the kids 2 doors down, we'd like ride our bikes from down and stuff, but then you have a winter and then you don't spend any time with those people and then it's like a bit awkward, isn't it? So next one is post more regularly on YouTube. I'm already working on this and it's already going quite well, so yeah, because I did write this I wrote it in July, I think, this list, and I'm filming this in August. So eat alone somewhere. Now that's probably going to happen when I do the travel alone somewhere, because I'll be alone and need to eat. So yeah, I just think it's kind of a thing that's spoken about quite a lot, like, can you go and eat alone somewhere and be like confident doing that? And I genuinely think I could, because at college I sat and ate alone almost every single day, just in the middle of the college. Like, I wouldn't go into the canteen, I'd go and sit on a bench in the like open bit of the college. I quite like people watching mainly, that is why I chose there. I could just sit and eat and watch what people were doing. It's quite fun. Next on the list is to sell more items on my Etsy. I just need to put more time into it, and like I need like the good descriptions, and then I might start doing like actual ads. Obviously you have to pay to do ads, but you'll make the money back from people seeing it and then actually using your shop and stuff. So I'm thinking about that. Next one is just go back to London. I would love to go back to London. When I first got to London, because I didn't go that long ago with my mum, I think I went in mid-July with my mum. I went to go to Charlie's room in the Waterstones from Heartstopper. They'd made like Charlie's bedroom, which pictures are on my Instagram. I'll put some up here as well. It was just really good. So first got there, it was the first time I'd been on the underground, which was weird, like so not what I expected. I always saw videos of it being really busy, and I guess there will probably be times when it is very busy, but when we went it wasn't. There was quite a lot of space. There was one that was a bit busy, I had to stand up on it, but it didn't bother me. It's windy in the underground, which really threw me off because it was underground, so why was it windy? But it's like the pressure, I guess, of the trains moving fast through the tunnels. It was quite confusing, although we did actually get the hang of it pretty fast, I would say. Like knowing which way to, like, which direction, and then which line you need to be on, all that. But it actually became quite fun. Like, are we gonna get it right? Oh, we got it right. Yeah, like I said, I didn't like it much at first. I think it's mainly people like, oh my god, London, it's like the capital city, it's like this amazing thing. And then if it's not like everything that people have spoken about, it's like a bit But as the day went on and I like saw more places, I understood more why people like it there. I did the city cruises river tour. Saw the bridge. The most exciting part of it, honestly, for me, was that we went under a bridge that Tom Cruise had run over, and I love Mission Impossible, so that actually really like made me excited. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of London that I haven't seen and would like to see, so I would like to go back to London. See a comedy show live. Might have already got that planned. Might be where I travel to. It is. But there will be a video on that. I've always wanted to see comedy live. I love comedy. If I'm like bored and like nobody that I follow on YouTube has posted anything, or there's like not a program I want to watch, then I'll just put some like comedy on. Yeah, I've always loved comedy. I always just put it on when I've not got anything else to do, because I like to laugh. I like funny things. Like, I love comedy films. I like comedy and action, really. That's all I really like in a film. Every now and again I'll watch a rom-com, but they're a bit cringy, aren't they? Make 5 new close friends. This is nothing against the friends I already have. I would just like more friends. I think mainly the friends that I have, they're all friends from school. I didn't go to college, but I don't really talk to anyone I went to college with. That sounds bad, but like, I don't know. Because we never really saw each other that often. We just text on like Insta because we were at home because of COVID. So I feel like it was easier to like lose touch with them. But I know some of them still hang out together because I've seen pictures. But I feel like even if I had stayed friends with them, I would still want to make more friends, because when you make friends at school or college, I feel like they might have certain things in common with you, but it's mainly like a job path maybe that you want to go down, less than actual interests that you have in your day-to-day life. So like bands you like, or TV shows you like, things like that. You will find people have the same, but I feel like it's less. They're like, I have friends that are really good friends, like my friend Alyssa I went on holiday with. We've been friends for around 16 years, but we really don't have much in common, I've noticed. Like I become obsessively like fangirl about things like One Direction, Harry Styles, who is in One Direction, get the point. TV shows, I'm like obsessed about them. And she's just not really like that. Like, she does dance. And I do like dance, but I've never taken part in it, apart from in PE, when they made me. But I dance at, like, concerts, but that's kind of it, and that's really just very restricted, so it's just jumping up and down. It's weird, isn't it, because we really get on and we talk all the time. Like, we don't shut up when we're together, but we don't really have anything that I can think of, like, properly in common that we're both like, we love this. And we can like speak about it, but we just speak about general life. But I want people that I can be like, oh my god, that actor, or like, oh my god, that song, and they'll be like, oh my god, I know what you mean. Sorry baby, she was asleep and I woke her up. Go back to sleep. Do a class on something. Mainly I would like to do an art class on something, whether it be like a pottery class, but that's expensive, or like basket weaving, just like something random that I've never done before. Because I just think it's like nice to have experiences, and you'll meet people there as well. And I don't know, I just think it seems fun. I also feel like, because the only classes I've ever done is in school, and they're not the nicest. Like, school isn't a nice thing to think about for me personally. I hated it. But I've realised I've really not looked at the camera much. I keep just looking out the window because things are happening outside. The only experience of classes I've had have been like, there's a teacher and they're strict and they're not very nice, and there's other students and they're making a fuss and they're like showing off, and it just makes it not that enjoyable. Even in I didn't really like my art teacher. We had an argument during my exam, and he changed my work after the exam. So he's not my favourite person. Like a 10-hour art exam, I spent so long doing that, and then he changed it. And that's what we had the argument about, what he wanted me to do. I said, no, I'm not doing that, and he changed it. And it looked rubbish. And especially, I think I could have got a higher mark if he left it, because what he'd done then made the final piece not correlate to the work I'd done in my sketchbook, because I explained what I was going to do in my sketchbook, and then it didn't look like that. But I would like to do a class where it's just enjoyable, it's relaxed, it's fun. That's it. I'm moving on because I'm going to get really angry. Get back into gymnastics. I've already started this. And there will be a video like going more into it soon on my channel, where I talk about how I've started like planning my days and stuff. But I want to be able to do the splits again. I used to be able to do the splits, and it was like my show off thing, like I can do the splits. And I can't anymore. I'm about like 6 inches off the ground, which I've got a ruler down next to me. That's covered in clay. This one, 6 inches, sorry. Why did I say 9? It was 9, but I've gotten better, so it's now 6. So I started from there to there off the floor, and now I'm to there off the floor, which in like 2 days is quite good. So I do warm up, because you warm up before you stretch, because otherwise you need to get your muscles warm, and then you stretch, you know, over time. You hold the stretch. Don't just do a stretch and get into the position and then you just get out of it. Hold it for 2 minutes. So I have like playlists of songs that are 2 minutes long, and I hold them for the song. So like song 2 by Blur, what did I just forget? It is like 2 minutes long. Or like Coffee by Biba Doobie is like around 2 minutes long as well, I think. So I just click play on the song and then do it, and then I know when 2 minutes has been up, because you've got to try and make it a bit fun, because it is painful. But yeah, I am getting back into gymnastics. I'd also like to be able to do like the cartwheels and the handstands and all that again, because I used to be able to do it all, but I've not done it in so long that now whenever I go upstairs, like I can do them. I've not lost the ability, but when I do them, I go so dizzy, and like the room spins, and then I get stars like shoot, like they look like little stars shooting into the middles of my eyes, and it's something to do with like the pressure of like getting like down fast, that like blood rushes to your head, and like it's something to do with your eye sockets or something. I'm sure I read about it, but I'd love to be able to do it without it doing that again, but I don't know if that's even possible. I'd also like to be able to do a backflip. Next one is stay on a houseboat. Like I mentioned before in this video when I went dizzy, I think I get disembarkment syndrome when I've been on a boat for a long amount of time. So it would have to be on very still water, although when we were on that boat it was very rocky. And we were allowed to get off and swim, and I did. I went down the slides and stuff. Getting like back on after I was in the water was a challenge. Like, I thought I was going to get knocked out by the boat. Like, I was actually quite scared at one point that I couldn't get back on the boat. And there was like kids crying because they were letting kids go down the sides, like little like 6-year-olds, and they couldn't pull themselves back up on the boat. It was actually quite scary, but it was a lot of fun. But I did get really like disorientated afterwards. So whether I actually stick to that one, I don't know. I would have to consider it. Dye my hair red. I've already got the dye. There'll be a video coming soon probably. I might try doing it myself for the first time. I have never dyed my own hair. My mum always just does it in the bathroom. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would actually like to have a go at doing it myself. I'm 19, I should be able to dye my own hair, do you know what I mean? But like, I've always just thought like I'd miss a patch and then it'd look rubbish, but I think I could do it. Yeah, I've bought the red hair dye. I just wanted to try another colour. Obviously I've got quite dark hair, so I don't even mind if it just like has a shine of red to it, because I'm not bleaching my hair to dye it red. I'm just putting the dye on my current hair colour. It's Live Schwarzkopf hair dye. Full on DIY a room by myself. I am a strong, independent 19-year-old and I can use tools by myself, and I've done things by myself before, but I want it to kind of almost be like a surprise, like, and this is what the room looks like, to like my mum or something. Like, I don't know, I want to like do everything without assistance, without needing to call a professional. I'll watch YouTube videos, I'll learn how to do it, because there's obviously things I don't know how to do, and things that I haven't done that I could work out how to do. But yeah, next one is ride I just put ride scooters around. I don't mean like an average scooter, I mean those ones that you see people on where you can like get an app or something. I actually don't know how it works at all, but they maybe get an app and then you use the scooter and then you leave it somewhere for somebody else to use, I think, and they're electric ones. I've never used a hoverboard. I've never used a Segway. A hoverboard, is it called? I've never used a Segway, and I've never been on really anything. What are they called? There's like electric skateboards. I've never been on one of them, and I've never been on an electric scooter, and I would like to have a go on one because I think it looks fun. I was leaving a concert this year actually, and 2 girls had got on one, and to say that they were probably very drunk and in heels, they did very well. They were like, beep beep, excuse me, coming through. Next one is to visit my friend. I haven't spoken to her that much. I need to text her again, because I always feel like I'm just going to bother her because she's in Cambridge, she's at uni, Cambridge, so she's smart, you know, and she's probably got a lot to do, and I don't want to disturb her too much, but I would love to go and visit her because I haven't seen her in a really long time. And actually, do you know what, I know the map of the world, I know all the continents, I know every country, like genuinely, I'm not just saying that, I actually do, like I practiced to know. There's 196 countries, I can name them all, I can point to pretty much where every single one of them is on a blank map, but I don't really know the map of England that well, so I thought Cambridge was like actually like near central London, but Cambridge is like higher up, it's closer to me, so it would take me less time to get there, so I don't know why I've never known that before, but now I know that, I feel much more prepared. Also, I'm going to do my short trip first, yeah, in September, and then hopefully I'll be able to do the actual full-on trip to Cambridge to see her. My camera not turned off, but it stopped filming because it only films for so long. Yeah, the next one is to play tennis. It's very simple. I've loved tennis for so long. My favourite player is Rafa Nadal. I've loved him since maybe 2009, so since I was 6. I actually adore him, like with all of my heart, and I love watching tennis, and I think it's such a interesting sport. I think it's very gripping. It makes me feel very anxious to watch it. I'm like, come on. She never really know what's going to happen, especially when it gets to juice and then they have to do advantages. I could cry. I hate that bit. It's so stressful. But I've never actually played tennis. I've been a fan of tennis since I was 6 and I'm 90, so that's 13 years, and I've never played tennis. And I know it's a hard sport, and I know I'd probably be rubbish at it, but I'd like to just have a go. The next one is to start taking pictures like Joe Lycett does. I'll explain this one because it'll mean nothing if you've not seen the programme. Joe Lycett did a programme about, like, it was about, like, an art gallery, and, like, it was, like, a public thing where the people of the public could send in their art to get it put in this gallery. And then there was like different stages you had to get through to, like, it was almost like they were competing to get into this gallery. And Joe Lycett did a programme on it, and as much as it been about that, it was also talking about bits about how Joe does art. If you don't know, Joe Lycett is a comedian, but he also likes art, so he does bits of art. And he sells some of it too if you're interested in knowing that. And they filmed a bit in his studio, and it was like, this is a wall of photos that I've taken, and it was just bins in different places, but they were actually like all different, and it was quite interesting. And I'd like to just think of something that I just take pictures of when I see them and just make a collection of those pictures, and it just be like a thing that I do because I think it's just fun and it's something to like occupy you when you're bored or something. The next one is a two-part thing. So I'd like to go to Ninja Warrior Gym, which I live in Sheffield, and it's on Meadowhall Retail Park is where it is. So it's very accessible to me, but there's something that I feel like I need to be able to achieve before I go there. I can't do a press up. I would like to be able to do a pull up. I need to be stronger basically. I can't do the monkey bars, I've never been able to. And I feel like arm strength is something that you need to be able to do the Ninja Warrior courses. I watched Niall Wilson, Joanna Wilson, Luke Stoney, Ashley Watson, and I think Niall and Joanna's cousin Mitchell as well, and Sammy, Joanna's friend. I think it was that group, possibly. Maybe Sammy wasn't there, I don't know. A group of them went to Ninja Warrior, because they're from Leeds, so it's not that far for them. And there was a lot of upper body strength things that I noticed that they were doing, and I was like, I couldn't do that, but I would like to go there, so I would like to be able to do a pull-up. That, yes. And the last one on the list, we're at the last one now, is learn to cook. I can't cook. I can heat stuff up. I've done that. For tea one night, my dad was out. My dad always cooks, but my dad was going out, my mum was going out, but coming home earlier than my dad, so I was like, I've got to do tea then. No, that's what would happen. So my mum was at work, my dad left before mum got home from work, so I had to do tea for when mum came home before she went out. That was it. So I heated food up. People call that cooking though. They're like, oh, I cook tea, and they have like chicken nuggets, chips, and like, you know what I mean? And I was like, you just heated food up is actually what you did. But I would love to be able to like actually cook, like get ingredients, put it together and make something. Yeah, the most I've done is heat up fish fingers, chips for my mum, but like actual chips. Like my dad cut a potato up for my mum before, like put the chopped up potato in the fridge, and then I cooked it when it was ready to be put on. And then I cut us some salad. I cooked myself salad. My mum had beans with it. So that's as far as I can go. I can do salads. I can do like Greek salad as well as British salad. But yeah, I would like to be able to actually cook proper meals. And I feel like then also I'd find more meals that I liked, because I'm quite a picky eater. Although I do like going on BBC Good Foods and like trying to find recipes. But then I'm like, but we don't have any of those because they're not normal ingredients that you have in your house. You have to like go out and buy them. So you'd have to kind of like meal plan almost for the week to be like, okay, at the beginning of the week or at the end of the previous week, you go shopping, buy your stuff. Do you know what I mean? But that is the end of this video. For as much as it is possible on those points, I will be filming videos of me like doing the things, so there'll probably be like learn to cook with me videos and stuff like that. I'm very excited for the things on there and the things I've already got planned. I'm so excited. excited. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it might give you some ideas of things that you might want to do. Or just the idea to like make a list of things to do before you turn your next age, because I feel like generally resolutions happen at the beginning of a year, but that's not the beginning of your year, cause unless your birthday is on the 1st of January. There's 2 years in a year, isn't there? There's your birthday, starting year, and the year as the solar year or something, I don't know what it's called. And then bucket lists generally are like something that someone does for like their lifetime, and I feel like you'll be like, oh, but I can do that next year. I don't need to do that right now, but then it'll get to a point where you're like, oh, I've got like a family and I don't really have the time to do that anymore. I've seen things like of people like that say like they regret that they didn't do things when they had the opportunity to properly do it. So I think if you do it year by year, and then whatever you don't do, if you still want to do it, move it on to the next year. Simples. So thank you for watching this video. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe if you want to see more content, and comment what on the list of what I said, what's something that you would want to do. And if there's nothing on the list, give me some ideas as well, because if I finish that before, I'll add more to it. It doesn't just need to be 20 things. It just sounded cool to say 20 things before I turn 20. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. While I was setting up to film, this happened. Okay, hi baby girl. Hi. I'll leave you alone now. Sorry, I'm just watching. Someone's going up to the house. That is the weirdest thing. That man clearly lives at that house across the road, but he doesn't look like the man that I thought lived across the road. Or what? The weirdest thing just happened. A man on a bike cycling down the road stopped at the people that live across the road's house, parked his bike on their driveway, got off his bike, got their black bin, put it at their like gate, got back on his bike and then rode off. I've never seen that man in my life before. And my desk is in my window. I see everybody. What just happened? Back to what I was saying. That was weird. I'm tired too. Well, I'm not tired. I'm just not fully awake.